Here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna start with a couple of announcements. It's been announcement times. I don't have any huge announcements, but we're gonna take a look at the Bloomberg article that I'm very proud of. And of course, we can talk about the announcement of the Bottas sisters from yesterday, as well as Hikaru's stream of yesterday. A lot of things have happened. Haha. Now we're gonna take a look at a couple of updates from the chess community. We could start with yesterday's big announcement from the Bottas sisters. I retweeted it. Obviously, I had to. I don't know how many of you were there when they announced it. Oh, why is that tweet not available anymore? Did they retweet it later? I have not seen this one yet. I have not seen this one yet. Why is it telling me following media includes potential sensitive content? It's a really cool ad. What's sensitive about it? It's a chess match. I honestly don't understand how bots work when it comes to what they hide and what they don't hide from Twitter. This is an amazing ad. We're gonna watch it now together, and then I can talk to you guys a bit more about Alex and Andra and their huge announcement of yesterday, if you weren't there. I think most of you know it by now. But just in case you don't, let's watch the ad together. Let's watch the ad together. I'm gonna make myself small, and the follower count too. This is from yesterday, Miss Alexandra and Andrea Bottas with a huge announcement. Let me show you. Let me show you what happened. Welcome to Team Envy. That is it, Miss Alexandra and Andrea Bottas. The Bottas Gambit here, they have been signed by an esports organization, Team Envy. I had known, I did know from Alex, obviously, behind the scenes, I did know that they have been in talks with esports organization for months. It's a very lengthy process. It's not just like they contact you and the next day you are signed. This has been an ongoing process for months and months. I think the first esports organizations that contacted Alex were in the summer or even earlier. I don't know the chronological order, but I know that they have been in talks with a couple of esports organizations, and eventually they ended up signing with Team Envy. I'm very happy that they found the right team for them, the right organization. And from now on, they're going to be representing Team Envy. On that note, on that very same note, Gothamchess tweeted the following pictures. TSM Hikaru, MV Bottas, CLG Nemo, C9 Tang. That is all the chess players, chess streamers that have been signed already. And here's Levy. Here's Levy. Do someone sign him? Someone needs to sign him. The poor guy is waiting and waiting and waiting. He was criticized, by the way, for sleeping in socks, and then he revealed on his live stream that he just put on socks for the picture because he doesn't want any feet pictures on social media. So he put on socks in order to take the photo, and now he's getting criticism for sleeping in socks. This is how the internet works. This is how the internet works. It's never good enough. It's never good enough what you are doing. You have to do it a different way. Yeah, Cloud9 responded to Levy's tweet. It's true. Cloud9 responded. I think something about the socks, if I remember. Where's Cloud9's response? Oh, Cloud9. Cloud9 saying you sleep with socks on. And the first response from Diggity, is this a deal breaker? Back to the news. Speaking of Hikaru, he streamed with MrBeast yesterday. How many of you were tuning into the stream? Let me check if it's already on Hikaru's YouTube channel. If not, I'm gonna show you. Oh, there we go. It's already on YouTube. I was watching it. I was lurking when it happened live yesterday on his stream, and there's already a video. I gave away half my pieces to MrBeast. It's funny that ended up being the title, because at the end of the live stream, MrBeast was giving tips to Hikaru on what to write in the title, how to name the YouTube video, and what to do about the thumbnail too. So it was proper MrBeast advice at the end of the live stream. What they did, they were playing odds matches. So I think the very first game was Hikaru giving a piece up to MrBeast. In the next game it was 2 pieces up, and gradually removing more and more pieces from Hikaru. I don't want no spoilers. I'm not gonna play the video. I don't want to spoil it. Do check it out on Hikaru's channel, because I don't want to spoil it. I have seen the games. It's a really entertaining video to watch. I have seen the live stream. Do check out the video and see what happened. See for yourself what happened in the odds matches. And MrBeast, he's really good at chess. Like, I didn't know. He tweeted about how much he likes chess a few weeks ago, but in many of the games I was impressed by his insights and how he saw a couple of move combinations. So he really is not just like someone who knows how the pieces move. He clearly has the right mindset for it, and must have taken lessons, whether it's watching videos. I think he watches a lot of Hikaru content. I think he's learning mainly from video content, but it shows on his skills. So do check out the video and see for yourself how good MrBeast is at chess. Of course, it's not easy to take down the warlord, GM Hikaru, especially when he pulls that face on you, But yeah, do check out the video on Hikaru's channel. So these are the top 2 updates from yesterday from the chess community when it comes to the Bottas sisters signing with Team Envy and MrBeast playing against Hikaru on his stream, because they did play against each other a couple of games a week or so ago, but that was off stream, and this is the very first time that MrBeast was on a chess stream on Hikaru's channel yesterday. He said he retired. I know, but he was joking. I'm pretty sure he was joking. He also said he had a great time. Look at that. It's like a cake. I didn't realize that it's like a food delivery or cake. But I like the edit. I do like it. And in terms of the rest of the news from the chess world, this didn't happen yesterday, but because we were celebrating Thankmas and we were raising money for charity all the past week, basically most of the streams were about Thankmas, I did not have a chance to mention this article from December the 16th in Bloomberg. That is the one, the only, the authentic Bloomberg. The digital news section of Bloomberg featured a piece on chess called The Queen's Gambit, Chess Boom Moves Online by Rachel Dottle on December the 16th. And this is an article I'm very proud of because I was interviewed for this article. I was on an hour call with Rachel. She interviewed me about a month ago. And this is the piece that she published eventually. Alex also has been interviewed for it. They refer to Hikaru, of course, to Levy, to my channel. Do check out the article. It has lots of cool graphs as well. It really is such an insightful article. And that makes a huge difference between journalism and journalism. Remember the other day was about a month ago when I was on the cover of the Metro newspaper as the IRL Beth Harmon. That interview was also an hour long, but the journalist published it the next day in Metro, what I said, and they kind of altered everything I said in a way that they left out information, that they made it very vague. It was very, I don't want to be too judgmental, but I think it was quite of a lower end of journalism, the way that article was written eventually. it may not be the fault of the person who interviewed me, because the interview itself had some really good questions, but whoever published the final article, whoever made the final edit, left out lots of information and made the whole article very vague and just focusing on how I look like Beth Harmon and not much else. There was not much else to it. This article is the complete opposite. And it's a very insightful, very informative article. Rachel spent a couple of months working on this article. So that's another huge difference, that I'm interviewed for Metro or other media outlets. They publish it the next day. Rachel interviewed me about a month ago, and by that time she already conducted the rest of the interviews as well. And the article came out only now, mid-December. This is how much research has gone into this article, with all the graphs as well, just showing the boom in chess when it comes to the release of the Queen's Gambit and how that impacted the chess world. Look at this graph of the new members joining. First of all, in the beginning of the lockdown, that was the first chess boom. And second, an even bigger boom after the release of the Queen's Gambit. It's huge. It's the best year for chess. However paradoxical it is that this is such a tough year, a terrible one, the year 2020, but for chess, it has been the biggest boom ever. The biggest boom ever. Journalists that research topics, what is that? No, it's incredible how much effort Rachel has put into this article. Just when, because my interview was back in November, and by that time she already had gathered a lot of information and conducted other interviews, and even then she spent another month or so finishing the article. I was on a call with her for an hour, and she asked me a lot of really insightful and great questions. Many of them didn't make it to the article because they focused on the boom itself, so it's not an article about me and only me. I do have a couple of mentions here and how the boom has impacted my channel. For instance, this part: among popular chess channels, Anna Rudolf, Hungarian international master and woman grandmaster, streaming under the name Anna Chess, and Levy Rozman, American international master, streaming as Gothamchess, demonstrate the way streaming and content creation during the pandemic have become an alternative to traditional paths for retired and competitive players at their level. I'm the retired one. When the pandemic happened, all the events I had were cancelled. It's true. All the over-the-board tournaments were cancelled. So I thought, what would it be like if I could make streaming a full-time job? I was kind of forced to try it, said Rudolf, who began the pandemic with fewer than a dozen paying subscribers on Twitch. You guys remember that? Remember that at the very start, when I went full-time streaming end of March, because streaming has been part of my life, but it has always been a side activity. I could never take up on streaming as a full-time job because I was traveling from one tournament to the other. I was covering the World Chess Championship, Norway Chess, Weikonze, Judith's Global Chess Festival. I was traveling almost every month, and when you travel this much, it's difficult to even try to do much of streaming. Oftentimes you would be in a hotel room for 2 weeks. I would spend half of my life in hotel rooms with Wi-Fi internet that may not be good enough for streaming, and all those kind of conditions that aren't ideal for streaming. I traveled a lot. I used to be constantly living in my suitcase, and then the pandemic happened and I can't travel anywhere. So something I was always curious about is if I could make streaming a full-time job. I was curious because I thought that it's a kind of career that I would like to pursue, because I wanted to have my own channel. I wanted to have my own brand. I do love broadcasting, and still I am a broadcaster. I'll be on Hikaru's channel in a few days again. But I was always curious what it would be like to focus on my channel, on my brand. Because every time I did broadcast, especially on-site events, it means that I travel to Norway, I travel to the States, I travel to, I don't know, Russia, China. I've been to most of the continents and countries because of chess events. And that means that you're away for a long time, and you're also working on a coverage, on a tournament coverage for someone else. Like, it has always been a very rewarding job, and I love broadcasting, but it's not me building my own channel, my own community, my own content. It's me being hired to do a tournament coverage. So you don't really construct something for yourself. You're working as part of a team for the tournament, for that event, and you are part of the event in that way. But it's not something as you, Anna, or you, Levy, or you, Hikaru, do. You're part of a bigger team, a part of a bigger event. So I was really curious what it would be like to have my own brand and focus on my own platform. But it felt like a frightening thing to me to give up everything for it, especially when I had broadcasting top events as my main job, and I was traveling that much, and I love traveling. So I didn't want to give up on the traveling. And then the pandemic happened, and it was like, Anna, you don't go anywhere. You stay at home. And now try to do something with your career. Try to do something with your career from home. And that's when I decided to go full-time on streaming, because I always wanted to try it, but I was terrified of going full-time. I really was. And at the very start, what I was referring to with the where's that part? 1,000 paying subscribers. How many of you remember the channel in April, May, when I had a daily goal? I had a daily goal. Instead of a sub count that was this number, many digits, we had a 2-digit number that was a daily goal of 10 subscribers. At the very start, for the first couple of months of me full-time streaming, I had a daily goal of achieving 10 subs a day, and many times we didn't even hit it. There would be days when we didn't even hit 10 subs a day. And for making it full-time, a full-time income, that's not full-time income. If you count, it's actually very transparent how Twitch works. A subscription is $5, but Twitch takes half of it to themselves. So what a content creator gains with one subscription is $2.50. Imagine if you stream 5-6 hours a day as a full-time job. So that's what you do every single day. And then you can add up what the subscription brings in. It was so difficult at the start to think about this as a full-time job, and I thought I'm not gonna be able to make it. You can't pay your bills if your channel is not supported that much. But I didn't know how to make it work. Like, I don't want people to feel like they have to subscribe, and I still am telling you don't have to subscribe. This is free content. At the same time, it's ironic how all of us streamers, we rely on the financial support. We rely on subscriptions and bits and donations, because that's what pays to us. So it's a tricky world, and I didn't know if it was gonna work out. That's why I was very honest with Rachel that I didn't know if it was gonna work with the fewer than a dozen paying subscribers on Twitch. And then she continued. She has since grown her channel to a couple of thousand subscribers. Look at our goal! With plans that can range from $4.99 to $24.99. $24.99 is the tier 3 sub. Very few subscriptions are tier 3. Most subs are $4.99. And that's the full price for the subscription. Twitch takes their cut, and only half of it is what's given to the creator. Or if you are a more popular creator, so now I can apply for having a better revenue share if I'm granted one. But most of the creators, especially at the very start, get half of this is cut by Twitch, and that the rest is what you get for your work. A month. In early December, over 80,000 followers. Wait a second, where's our follower count? Rachel, good news to you and to everybody who's trying to cheer us on to get to the 100k goal that Hikaru has set for us. We have gained 5,000 since the article came out, because the article was published on December the 16th, and now today when we are talking about this, it's December the 22nd, so that's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, I'm just so grateful to each and every one of you, because, as I said, streaming as a job is a very difficult one to consider it a job. you can only make streaming work if you are truly passionate about what you do, if you truly like what you do. So I think no one who is now making it as a streamer has gone into it thinking of, oh, I'm gonna make this a full-time job, oh, I'm gonna make so much money out of this. That's the wrong mindset. A lot of those people who come into streaming or content creation in general, on YouTube for instance, thinking about how much money they can make out of it, they're gonna fail, because at the very beginning it doesn't pay. And the beginning can be a long time. I had no guarantee that this will ever work out. Right now I can consider it a full-time job, but just because I decided to go full-time streaming, it didn't mean that I was gonna make it. No one can guarantee that to you. And even now that the channel is bigger, is there a guarantee that the channel will not get banned? Like, imagine I get a copyright strike for music, my channel gets erased. I don't know. It's not a secure job, but it's a job I love. I've always wanted to make it work, and now it's working. But as I said, it would have not been possible without any of you, without so many of you supporting from the very start. I'm rambling because I'm not sure how to express myself when it comes to showing how grateful I am. I honestly am repeating this so many times because it's true that without you guys, those of you who have been supporting me, some of you have been here from the very start. I started my channel almost 3 years ago. Even as a part-time activity, you were here. Many of you were here already 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, or a year ago. But those of you too who have been here only for a day or two, or a week or two, or a few months, or from the spring when I went full-time, it's a lot of support. It doesn't really matter if you had known me for a long time or only for a few days or weeks or months. What matters to me is that you're extremely kind and supportive, not just toward me, but toward everybody else in the community. This is a community space. It's not me. The channel has my name, but the channel is a lot more than me. It's you guys as a community hanging out here every time there's a stream, and I think that's what makes it worth watching, worth being part of, as a member of the community, and for me too. I love hanging out with you guys. I like every time I stream a lot because this is a great atmosphere and it's group hug time. I see the group hug emote, I need to react. Because it's true. It is true. But thanks for making it a dream job for me. Thank you for making this possible and for sending me all the way to Bloomberg to be featured in articles like this. This is huge. I have never been featured in the Bloomberg before. It's one of the most respected, most professional of journalism that one can read. These are some of the most insightful, some of the most informative articles that they publish in Bloomberg, and now we are featured in it. Our channel is in it. It's crazy, isn't it? I was just discussing how the Bloomberg article talks about the beginnings for me. I went full-time streaming end of March, and at the very start I didn't know if it was gonna work. I also told Rachel, she didn't add it to the article, but I told her that a couple of times when I finished streaming back those days, especially April, at the height of April, I finished streaming and I was crying. I was crying after the stream because I went to Kevin and I was telling him how I don't know if this is gonna work. I told him that I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to make this a full-time job, and I already started streaming full-time, so I wasn't gonna give up. But honestly, I had so much fear, so many doubts if it's possible to make streaming your full-time job. And I don't want to be telling people to subscribe. Like, I want this to be a free platform and you only subscribe if you want to. So like, I never wanted to say I'm only gonna be playing against subscribers, I'm only gonna do this and that for subscribers, I'm gonna make my VODs subscriber only. I didn't want any limitations, and because that's how I am, I also feel like there's a less incentive to support my channel because I don't require you to subscribe. I don't want you to feel like you have to. That's the thing. I only want people to subscribe if if they can and if they want to, but I'm not gonna make restrictions for the others. Only sub battles. Sub battles are the only thing I think I have on the channel that are based on being a subscriber. That's just one of the many things we do. So I never wanted to do call to actions or restrictions if you're not a subscriber, and that's another reason why I didn't know if it was gonna work, because that's how I am, that's my mindset. This should be free and you only subscribe if you want to. But yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. I'm just very happy that it has worked out, even though I had so many doubts at the start. Over 70,000 viewers, more than can fit in your average Major League Baseball stadium, tuned in to watch chess on Twitch across channels on December the 11th as Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen and Maxim Vachier-Lagrave played the semi-final of the Chess.com Speed Chess Championship. I think the article came out just at the time, because then the final that Hikaru played probably had even more viewers when it comes to how many people tune in, how many concurrent viewers. Woman Freedom Master Alexandra Botez. This part is about Alex and what she thinks, how she diversified her channel and her streams after the boom. And look at these pretty graphs before the Queen's Gambit. There's a slight shift already shown in terms of how many women and men play chess, because chess usually has been considered a male-dominated world. There are more boys and men playing chess, a lot more. In terms of chess.com members, there was about 22% women before the release of the Queen's Gambit, and it jumped up 5% within weeks. What's crazy about this graph is that this is not within years, within a long time. It was after the release of the Queen's Gambit. That's how much it has helped for chess, that it would be considered as a hobby, as a pastime by women too, more women after the Queen's Gambit. And that's huge. Imagine the power of a series, the power of a movie, how powerful what we see in terms of short films, movies, social media, YouTube, Twitch, what you hear, how powerful they can be when it comes to this big of a change. 5% up within a huge base, because this is millions of people. Chess.com has millions of members. Millions. It's not like there are 10 people and now there's 12 more. It's millions of people, and among millions, there are now 5% more women registering on chess.com after the Queen's Gambit has been released. It's crazy. They finished the article with my quote about the future of chess. Rachel wrote, "Unlike most sports, chess can be played at its highest level online, and both new and veteran players are embracing online play. While traditional across-the-board games can last hours, online chess's shift to speed chess has brought excitement to the game. It's great for entertainment. Players make more mistakes because of the time limit. Speed chess can be a media product because no one has the time to watch one game for 4 hours. I think the future of chess is speed chess," said Anna Rudolf. We've gotten a glimpse of that future online. I do think that speed chess has a lot of future, and the main future for chess. We were talking about this with Hikaru when we had sub battles the other day, Levy, Hikaru and myself, and Hikaru himself said that he thinks it's gonna be speed chess or Fischer random instead of the current classical time control and classical chess. That will be the future of chess. I don't know about Fischer random. I do think speed chess for sure. Maybe speed chess, Fischer random. It could be both, because speed chess refers to the time control and Fischer random is a chess variant. I think traditional chess does have future, but time control wise, I think the future events, there will be more and more speed chess, that is rapid and blitz, because that's just a lot easier to watch. Nobody has time anymore to sit down for 5-6 hours to watch one game, because 5-6 hours for one game is a lot different to having a 5-hour broadcast of games back and forth with rapid and blitz. 5-hour coverage is, I think, what we do on average on Hikaru's channel when there's a Champions Tour event. And starting right after Christmas, December 26th, we're going to be back on Hikaru's channel. Levy and I will be covering the next leg of the Champions Tour where Hikaru will be competing. And those events too, the broadcast is about 5 hours long, but you don't feel like it's 5 hours because the games are a lot shorter. So you're watching multiple games going back and forth with the 15-minute time control. It's a lot more exciting to follow when there's so many games and everything happens so much faster. You don't wait for 20 minutes for one move to be played. 20 minutes is what you have for the entire game, or less than 20 minutes. So I think as a media product, speed chess is a lot easier, a lot more popular. It has a lot more potential, in my opinion, because as a sporting event, as a media product, we want excitement, fast pace, mistakes too. Perfect chess, classical chess and classical time control is the more perfect version of chess. But if there are very few mistakes, the bar will jump less and it gets a bit more dull. So I think it's okay that the games are not perfect. It makes it more exciting. Mistakes make it a lot more exciting too. The speed and the evaluation bar jumping up and down because the games aren't perfect. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about all that? Thank you so much for watching. This was streamed live on my Twitch channel where I stream full time, 5 days a week. Do catch us live next time or follow the highlights and the votes here on my YouTube channel. In either case, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much again and bye for now. Until the next time.